Good evening, Cleveland and Columbus sports fans. You're live with Gen B on the show of the land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tonight, we are going to talk about some hockey. The Blue Jackets finally got a win. The Monsters continuing their winning ways with a couple of exceptions. And who got fired this week? Then we will talk some basketball. There's not a whole lot to talk about with basketball because of the All-Star break, but we'll talk about what did happen and what happened during the All-Star. We had 2 All-Stars participating. One in the NBA All-Star and one in the G League next up. And then we will talk some college hoops. We will talk some Browns rumors. We will talk about the Guardians getting baseball underway. And we will talk some volleyball. So stay tuned for all that fun stuff. Before we get started on tonight's show, let's get a little housekeeping out of the way. For the last 9 years, IE Sports Radio has brought you amazing content ranging from interviewing legendary athletes, coaches, and other authorized media personnel to building tailor-made shows dedicated to all major sports cities around the country. Make sure to follow us at IE Sports Radio on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok to keep up with the latest in sports and with all of our shows. Also, check out our daily updated website, iesportsradio.com, for sports news, the IE Sports Radio blog, our Hall of Fame, Fans of the Month, pages dedicated to each podcast, our IE Sports Radio community forum, and stop by the shop and check out the merch. Thank you for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. And of course, we've got to give a special shout out to our sponsors, Planet Jerky Premium Brisket Beef Jerky. Planet Jerky is the official jerky of the 2022 California League champion Lake Elsinore Storm, single A affiliate of the San Diego Padres. This all brisket jerky has gluten-free options, contains no MSG, no sodium nitrate, is low in sugar and high in protein. Planet Jerky, the jerky that's on a whole other planet. And you can follow them on Instagram at Planet Jerky and check out their website, planetjerky.net. Seal the Deal Wax Seals by Cecilia B. You just finished your very own wedding or baby shower invitations and you're looking for that extra special touch? Maybe you just wrote a letter to a relative or friend and you want to add to their smile when they receive it. Then seal the deal with Cecilia's handmade sealing wax stamps for your invitations, letters, and gifts. You bring the deal, we'll bring the seal. You can get with Cecilia to place your orders at sealthedeal_wax stamps on Instagram. And you can find them on Facebook, Seal the Deal Wax Seals. And once again, thank you for making IE Sports Radio your direct feed for all that is sports. All right. And I just today tried Planet Jerky for the first time. And let me tell you, place your orders. It is delicious. You might want to stay away from the Carolina Reaper. It will burn your face off, but it's so good. It'll last you forever because you can only eat like one piece at a time. Oh, so definitely check out Planet Jerky. It is delicious, and it is by far the best jerky I have ever had, and it's super tender, and it's not all chewy and nasty like that stuff you get at the gas station. Anywho, let's give a shout out to those joining us in the chat. Larry B says Carolina Reaper is fire in a bag. Literally fire. Yes, 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 it is. I gave my husband the smallest little piece and he was like, my mouth is burning. It was like smaller than a dime. I'm not even kidding. He was like, I can still feel it. I can still feel it. It was hysterical. But he can't handle heat. So I found it very humorous. I was like, you really don't want to try this, but he didn't want to listen. So anyway, Larry B is in the chat, Taryn Rodriguez, and Patty Bax, and I believe I saw Ralph Calise too, but it's not letting me scroll. There we go. Yes, and Ralph Calise. So, Taryn does our set point show for all things volleyball. So if you love volleyball, be sure to check out his show. He does an amazing job covering all areas of volleyball from high school all the way through the pros. So be sure to check out Set Point on Mondays. And he also does our SoCal Supreme Sports Show for all things Southern California sports. So be sure to check that out, usually on Fridays. And then Larry B does, here we go, Three and Out College Edition, the defining moment. And with his lovely wife, Cecilia, he does the sports couples perspective. And then we have Ralph Calise, who does the Yinzer Report. That was just on right before me. And Patty Bax, who will be on just after me. She does the Buffalo Huddle. So be sure to check out all our great shows. But without further ado, let's get into some hockey. So on Tuesday, the Columbus Blue Jackets played the Ottawa Senators in Ottawa. Dmitry Voronkov started things off with a goal. It's always nice when they start things off with a goal for our side. Doesn't happen often. But then the Senators followed it up with 4 goals. However, the 4th goal was overturned due to interference. So at the end of 1, the Senators were up 3-1. In the second, the Senators got another goal, and then Boone Jenner scored a goal. Then Jack Roslovic scored a goal. And then the Senators got another goal, which gave... Now, if I had done this show on Tuesday, I would have known how to pronounce his name because I made note of it in my head while they were saying it. But it's not last Tuesday, it's this Tuesday. So hopefully I don't butcher it too bad. Tkachuk got a hat trick for the Senators. And at the end of 2, the Blue Jackets were down 5-3. Then the Senators got an empty netter while the Blue Jackets were trying to get back in the game. And the Blue Jackets ended up losing 6-3. Then I wake up and I've got all these notifications and I'm like, what is happening? So the Blue Jackets fired GM Jarmo Kekalainen. I don't know if I said that right. It's a lot of letters, but it was something like that. And John Davidson has been named interim GM. He is currently the president of hockey operations, and he spoke following the announcement and said they are already getting calls from interested candidates. There's no timetable on a replacement. Um, they will not make a hire until they are sure they have the right person, and the search will be outside of the organization, which, from what I understand, is unusual for the Blue Jackets, as they usually promote from within and do not go outside of the organization. So this is quite a change for them. The players were understandably upset and feel somewhat responsible. Yarmo was with the team nearly 11 years, and he signed, drafted, or traded for every single player in the locker room. So it hit the players pretty hard. The four captains, Boone Jenner, and then the three alternate captains, all spoke at the same press conference and basically reiterated that they feel somewhat responsible. He's the reason that they are all there, but they understand it's a business move, and when the team's not winning, somebody's got to pay the price. So then on a Saturday, the Blue Jackets traveled to California to play the San Jose Sharks. They ended up winning 4-3. Zach Werenski, Dmitry Voronkov, Kirill Marchenko, and Boone Jenner all had goals. Boone's goal was the game winner with about 12 seconds left in the third period. So that was awesome for Boone. It's nice getting him back in the swing of things. Larry B in the chat says the Blue Jackets probably make your head hurt like the Ducks make my head hurt. Yes, they do. It's frustrating because watching the games, they're doing everything right, and they just can't seem to score the goals. So I don't know how you fix that, but hopefully they can figure it out. Also in that game, Elvis Merzlikins had 28 saves. Larry B in the chat says, lose, 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 win, yay, lose. Pretty much. That is exactly how it goes. And Larry understands because his Ducks are almost as bad as the Blue Jackets. Almost. And Adam has also joined us in the chat. He is the host of our Neutral Zone show with Zach Puplis, where they talk all things hockey. And he is also the host of Chi-Town Weekly for all that is Chicago sports. So the Blue Jackets' next games are, there's a lot of games this week. Tonight at the LA Kings. I don't know if I'm going to make it through this one, but I have it set to record in case I don't. It starts at 10:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that is a little before my bedtime, but I don't know that I can make it all the way through the game since I do have to work tomorrow morning. And then Wednesday, they're at the Anaheim Ducks, Larry's Ducks. So one of us will be happy after Wednesday. And then Friday, they will be playing Patty's Buffalo Sabres. And on Sunday, they will be playing the New York Rangers. So maybe, just maybe, they could get a couple more wins out of that stretch. That would be nice. But I'm not holding my breath. I've learned my lesson on that one. After 24 years of Browns football, I have learned not to hold my breath for wins. The Monsters played the Grand Rapids Griffins on Tuesday, and they won 3-2 in a shootout. Carson Meyer and Alex Wellen had goals in the second period, and in the shootout, Trey Fix-Wolansky and Mikhail Pyatia had goals to secure the win. Or the win, not the wind. The win. And Jet Greaves had 40 saves. Adam says, and of course, that's a hockey time 10:30 start. So as long as the puck drops by 11, they're on time. Yeah, pretty much. The last game that was starting late, I turned it on because I thought I saw that the start time was 10, but that was the broadcast start time. That was not the game start time. So I was like, what? Why are they talking? Shouldn't we be playing hockey? And then I double checked the time and I realized I was a half hour behind. So, fun stuff. But luckily that was on the weekend, so I didn't have to get up the next morning for work. I did fall asleep before the end of the game. I missed Boone Jenner's game-winning goal, but I did read all about it the next morning. And Friday, the Monsters played the Grand Rapid Griffins again, and they won 4-3 in overtime. David Juracek, Treyfix Wolanski, Tyler Engel all had goals in regular time, and Treyfix Wolanski scored the winner on a penalty shot in overtime. And Jet Greaves was in the net with 33 saves. So the Monsters got a couple of wins, and then they played a couple more games. On Saturday, they played the Chicago Wolves and lost 4-3 in a shootout. Hunter McCowan, Treyfix Wolanski, Carson Kuhlman all had goals, and Pavel Kazan was the goaltender and had 39 saves. Then Sunday they played the Wolves again. And I just lost my screen, so bear with me. I don't know what's happening. Hopefully you can still hear me. Sunday, they played the Wolves again and won 6-3. Jake Christensen, Marcus Bjork, Carson Meyer, James Malatesta, Hunter McCowan, and Roman Akan all had goals. And Jet Greaves was in the net with 30 saves. Okay, there we go. My screen came back. Next games are Thursday at the Hartford Wolfpack. And if I remember correctly, the last time the Monsters played the Hartford Wolfpack, it did not go so well. So maybe they can pull one out this time. And then Friday and Sunday, they will be at the Providence Bruins. So good luck to the Monsters. As of right now, I believe they are still in first place, or back in first place. They had dropped down to second, but I believe they are still in first. Let me just double check that. Monsters standings. Oh, they are. They are still in first, or back in first. Where are the points? They are in first by 3 points, so they need to keep up the winning. That is in the North Division, and then they are in third in the Eastern Conference overall. And they are only 3 points back from the Providence Bruins. So 2 wins this weekend would help them tremendously against the Providence Bruins and help them jump up there to second. And they are, there are a lot of points behind the Hershey Bears. So I don't know if they're catching them. The Hershey Bears have 80 points and the Monsters have 62. But, first in the North Division is good enough. Now, on to some miscellaneous college. But actually, before I get to that, the Ohio State women's hockey team is still ranked number 1. So, way to go, Buckeyes, Lady Buckeyes. Cleveland State men's tennis's Cade Mindry was named Horizon League Singles Player of the Week. Cade went 2-0 at the number 2 singles, including the clinching point at Toledo. CSU men's tennis's Juan de Dios Abud and Carl Jedlichka were named Horizon League Doubles Team of the Week with 6-2 win at number 1 doubles against Ball State. Cleveland State women's tennis's Teresa Vivier and Ella Franz were named Horizon League Doubles Team of the Week, going 1-0 at the number 3 doubles, earning their 30th career win as a tandem. So congratulations to those ladies. Cleveland State women's tennis's Seema Heron was named Horizon League Singles Player of the Week, going 2-0 at the number 2 singles, with straight set wins in both matches. Ohio State has a number of teams in the top 25 this week, and they are right here in front of me. Men's tennis is number 1. Women's hockey, also number 1. Women's basketball, number 2. Men's fencing, number 5. Wrestling, number 6. Men's gymnastics, number 7. Women's swimming and diving, number 8. Men's volleyball, also number 8. Women's tennis, number 9. Rifle, number 11. Women's fencing and women's gymnastics and men's swimming and diving, all number 13. And men's golf comes in at number 25. So congratulations to all of those Buckeye teams with their top 25 rankings. And then Cleveland State Swim and Dive's Grace Shelf won her first ever Horizon League Swimming and Diving Championship after putting up 5th fastest time in school history in the women's 50 free with a time of 23 minutes and 17 seconds. Or maybe that's 23 seconds and 17 milliseconds. That would probably make more sense, because it doesn't take that long to swim 50 meters. So, yeah, 23:17. We'll just go with 23:17. Make of it what you will. But that is going to wrap things up for all things hockey and miscellaneous college. And I am going to take a short break, and then when I return, we will talk some basketball with the Cavs and the Charge and some college hoops and some baseball. So stay tuned, and I will be right back. You're listening live to the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hockey fans, I'm Adam Kernick.
And I'm Zach Puplis.
Together, we are the newest version of Hockey Talk on IE Sports Radio, The Neutral Zone.
Zone.
We love hockey, but we also know it's not everyone's first sport. So we want to make this show as much for new fans as for the diehards.
Whether you can name all the Swedes on the 08 Red Wings Stanley Cup team, or if you can't tell if Varlamov is a goalie or the latest trendy vodka, we're here to help. With facts, figures, and outrageous fans, we bring you all the hard-hitting hockey news you can handle, while still keeping it fun and on the rails. Well, mostly.
So tune in every week as we go around the hockey world, from college to Canada, the minors and the majors, and everywhere in between.
So bring your cellies.
And your one-timers.
You wicked wristas.
And be sure to protect your 5-hole.
Catch the Neutral Zone every week on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
We promise not to pick on the Arizona Coyotes every episode.
Are you a fan of Buffalo sports? Are you thinking of changing loyalties and becoming a Buffalo sports fan? Do you even know where Buffalo is on the map? Did you know Canada is closer to Buffalo than New York City? Welcome to the Buffalo Huddle, every Tuesday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. I'm your host, Patty Bax. This is a podcast designed for you, the passionate sports fan. I know you love your sports. Who doesn't? I cover Buffalo sports and so much more by bringing in the human elements. I call it Buffalo Sports with a Twist. Join me as we take a journey into the world of Buffalo sports. I guarantee you'll fall in love with Buffalo just like I did. Each week we start with an inspiration, question of the day, a Buffalo fun fact, and our weekly challenge to you, the listener. Come huddle up with me. Every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time and 4 p.m. Pacific Coast Time for the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Bax on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. As we say in Buffalo, go Bills!
Hello, sports fans. It's me, your boy Larry B, and I want to walk you through the world of sports. No, not just the mainstream major TV deal type sports, although those are important too. But let me be your guide through your journey of all sports, from college to the pros, the minors, and everything in between. Each week, we are talking sports galore with true diehards just like you from a hardcore fan's perspective that's sure to quench your thirst around leagues you may know all too well and some you may even discover here. That's right, sports fans. If you love sports of all kinds, enjoy hearing amazing sports stories, and respect all sports because you know how difficult any of them can be to play or compete in, then this is your show. Join me, your boy Larry B, on the defining moment each week here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports, and let the sports come to you.
You're back live with Jen B on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Let's talk some Cavs basketball. So, the Cavs signed Craig Porter Jr. to a 4-year NBA contract. The undrafted free agent is no longer a two-way player, though he was playing with the Charge this past week, but whatever. It is what it is. Anyway, going into the game on Wednesday against the Chicago Bulls, Darius Garland, Sam Merrill, and Dean Wade were all questionable with illness. They apparently have whatever Elvis Merzlikins has had for the last 4 months. But anyway, Sam Merrill and Dean Wade ended up being ruled out. Darius Garland was a go, and the starting five were Darius Garland, Donovan Mitchell, Max Strus, Evan Mobley, and Jarrett Allen. At the end of one, the Cavs were down 32-25. At the half, they were down 49-43. At the end of three, they were down 76-71. And at the end of the game, they were up 108-105, and they got the win. Donovan Mitchell led with 30 points, and Jarrett Allen had a double-double with 13 points and 10 rebounds. Adam Karnick in the chat says, a bad case of trade-itis. I think that might be Elvis's problem. I don't know about the Cavs players since the trade deadline in basketball already passed. So, but there is definitely a bug going around, especially around here. I don't know about everywhere else, but like everybody is sick. My daughter missed like 3 days of school last week with some weird illness. I've had this nonstop cold for, it seems like months, that just keeps coming back. Every time I think it's gone, it's back again. But I just recently did some research, and I think I might have a case of the long COVID, because thinking back, that's kind of when it all started, was when I had COVID almost 2.5 years ago. And the cough just never completely went away, and then other things just keep sneaking their way in there. But anywho, Donovan Mitchell, of course, partook in the All-Star Game festivities during the All-Star break, and he played 16 minutes in the All-Star Game and scored 9 points, had 2 assists, and 7 rebounds. And 3 of those points came from a 3-pointer he made from half court. The Cavs just actually it might have been yesterday. I'm not sure. I didn't write down the date, so I'm not positive. But they signed Pete Nance to a 2-way contract on his birthday. So I guess I could just look up his birthday and then I would know what day it was. But anyway, they signed Pete Nance to a 2-way contract. Pete is now the 3rd Nance to be under contract with the Cavs, joining his father, Larry Sr., and his brother, Larry Jr. It is a family affair in Cleveland. The Cavs' next games are Thursday against the Orlando Magic, Friday in Philadelphia against the 76ers, and Sunday in D.C. against the Lizards. And Mike Pat is very sad that the Lizards are playing the Cavs again. Every time they play the Cavs, he was like, seriously, Jen, do we have to play you guys again? I think this is the last one, though. This should be it, because they've played 3 times now, so this should be the 4th one, so they should be done after this one on Sunday. For the Charge, Amoni Bates was selected to replace G League Ignite's Ron Holland in the Panini Rising Stars game on Friday. And then Wednesday, the Charge played the Grand Rapids Gold and won 117-94. Craig Porter Jr. led with 27 points. Sharif Cooper, Amoni Bates, Isaiah Mobley, and Pete Nance all had double-doubles. Sharif Cooper had 16 points and 12 assists. Amoni Bates had 24 points and 10 rebounds. Isaiah Mobley with 13 points and 12 rebounds. And Pete Nance with 10 points and 13 rebounds. Amoni Bates was on Team Ball is Life for the next up games. And in the first game, they went up against the Giraffe Stars and won 32-25. Amoni Bates had 10 points. In game 2, they went up against EYL and lost 30-21. Umoni Bates had 7 points and 1 rebound. And the Charge will start back up again on Friday against the Capital City Go-Go. And then they will again play the Capital City Go-Go on Saturday. Now, for some college basketball. Ohio State women's basketball's J.C. Sheldon and Cody McMahon have been named to the Naismith Women's College Player of the Year watch list. Ohio State men's basketball fired coach Chris Holtman. Jake Deibler was named interim head coach. He was serving as the team's associate head coach. On Tuesday, Ohio State men's basketball played Wisconsin and lost 62-54. On Sunday, however, they played the number 3 ranked Purdue team. Boilermakers? Is that what Purdue is? The Boilermakers? Maybe. Anyway, and they won. They won 73-69. So they couldn't beat the unranked Wisconsin team, but they beat number 3 Purdue. So interesting. We'll see what if this winning trend continues under Jake Deibler. Thursday when they play Minnesota, and then again Sunday at Michigan State. Number 2, Ohio State women's basketball played Nebraska on Wednesday and won 82-47. And their next games are Thursday at Penn State and Sunday against Maryland. Akron men's basketball is currently ranked number 9 in the Cinderella Top 25 in the field of 68. And they beat Buffalo on Saturday 73-62. Their next game is tonight against Toledo, and then they play Friday against Kent State. Akron women's basketball played Saturday against Buffalo also, and also won 65-54. Their next games are Wednesday at Bowling Green and Saturday at Kent State. Kent State men's basketball played NIU on Saturday and won 85-47. Their next games are tonight at Ohio and Friday at Akron. Kent State women's basketball played Central Michigan on Saturday and won 77-54. Their next games are tomorrow at Ohio and Saturday against Akron. Youngstown men's basketball played Robert Morris on Wednesday and won 87-77. And then Saturday they played Cleveland State and lost 81-73. Their next game is Friday at Milwaukee, and then on Sunday they will be at Green Bay. The women's team played at Wright State on Wednesday and won 72-52. And then Saturday they played Green Bay and lost 71-59. Their next game will be Saturday at Northern Kentucky. Cleveland State men's basketball played Milwaukee on Wednesday and lost close one 71-68. And then Saturday they beat Youngstown State 81-73. Their next games are Thursday at Northern Kentucky and Sunday at Robert Morris. Women's basketball team played Oakland on Thursday and won 78-63. Saturday they played Milwaukee and won 64-51. And their next game is Wednesday at IUPUI and Saturday at Robert Morris. For some OAC women's basketball, the OAC tournament has been slated. The number 1 seed is Baldwin Wallace with a bye. And number 2 is Marietta, also with a bye. And then Ohio Northern at number 4 will play John Carroll at number 5. And number 3, Capital, will play Mount Union, number 6. The winners of the 4-5 game will play Baldwin Wallace. And the winner of the 3-6 game will play Marietta. So good luck to the Lady Raiders and the Lady Yellow Jackets, I think they are. They're either the Yellow Jackets or the Bees, Baldwin Wallace. One of the two. And then John Carroll. I have no clue what they are. I can't find their name anywhere. So just John Carroll. So good luck to Lady John Carrolls. That's what we'll call them. The Lady John Carrolls. Anyway, now for some Guardians news. The Guardians have 28 depth players at camp in addition to the 62 Major League participants. And those depth players are pitchers: Trey Benton, Tyler Brown, Ross Carver, Trenton Denholm, John Doxakis, Connor Gillespie, Ethan Hankins, Bradley Hanner, Jordan Jones, Randy Labout, Eric Sabrowski, Davis Sharp, Hunter Stanley, Tyler Thornton, Lenny Torres, and Juan Zapata. Catchers: Joe Donovan, Cody Huff, Cooper Engel, and Michael Ramirez. Infielders: Christian Cairo, Dayan Frias, Joe Naranjo, Milan Tolentino, and Khalil Watson. And outfielders: Chase DeLauder, Connor Cox, and Alexfree Planes. Now, of those names, I have heard mention of one, Chase DeLauder. So, doesn't appear that any of the others are making any big splashes, but we shall see. We shall see how it shapes up. The Guardians are also having a chess tournament coming up this Saturday at the Slug Champs on chess.com. Participants for the Guardians will be Stephen Kwan, Tristan McKenzie, Tanner Bybee, Daniel Sheeman, Bo Naylor, Will Brennan, Austin Hedges, and David Fry. So the Guardians have posted a poll on who everybody thinks is going to win. And Stephen Kwan is winning by a mile in the poll. It is well known in Cleveland, at least, that Stephen Kwan is a phenomenal chess player. So, should be interesting. But I expect Stephen Kwan to come out on top. Unless somebody gets real smart and knocks him out. But the home opener has been set for April 8th at 5:10 p.m. And that day may sound familiar because it is the day of the total eclipse. Gates will open at 2 p.m. The eclipse is expected to be at totality in Cleveland at 3:13 p.m. So fans going to the home opener can arrive early and watch the eclipse from the stadium. The eclipse is expected to last in Cleveland around 3 minutes and 50 seconds. And then first pitch will be around 5:10. So should be an exciting day. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get tickets because they're pretty limited, but that would be a really cool experience to watch the eclipse from inside whatever the heck the stadium is called nowadays. I still call it the Jake, but I think it's Progressive Field now. So that would be really cool. But anyway, the training camp games spring training games begin on Saturday. The Guardians will be playing the Cincinnati Reds on Saturday. Sunday, they will play the Seattle Mariners. Monday, the San Diego Padres. And Tuesday, the Oakland A's. I think they're still Oakland. I know they got approval to go to Vegas, but I'm pretty sure they're still Oakland. So, lots of fun stuff coming up with the Guardians. That opening day is really exciting with the eclipse and everything. So I will be keeping an eye on the spring training games and see if any good news comes out of those. And we'll be sure to fill you all in next week. But I am going to take another quick break. And then when I get back, we will wrap things up with some football, volleyball, and soccer. So stay tuned to the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Davidson.
It's your boy, Dentarius Locke.
And we are the hosts of Fast Break here on IE Sports Radio, where we discuss everything in the world of basketball from prep to the pros.
You guys should definitely check us out, man. Sunday, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. We got all the basketball information you guys need, so we look forward to you guys listening in.
And please do, because we are the best basketball show on this side of the Mississippi. And please do check us out on Twitter at FastBreakISR. D-Lock, where's our time again?
8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific. That gives you guys plenty of time on a Sunday.
Tune in.
It's IE Sports Radio. It is your direct feed for all that is sports. It is Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris every Tuesday night right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris, the most comprehensive view on Philadelphia sports exclusively right here on IE Sports Radio. You know what it is, your direct feed for all that is sports. Tuesday night, IE Sports Radio, Philly Sports Talk with Cash and Chris.
You're back live with Jen B on the Show of the Land on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. So real quick, we're going to knock out some soccer. The Crew 2 signed 2 players this past week, defender Jacob Green and midfielder Adrian Gonzalez. So congratulations to those 2 guys. And the Crew will open their season on Saturday at Atlanta United, the MLS defending champions. Columbus Crew. And then the Crunch played on Saturday at the Colorado Bucks in Denver. They won 10-7 after a scoreless first quarter. In the second quarter, they scored 2 goals by Michael Duresic and 1 by Omar Najjar. And then in the third quarter, they had goals by Kevin Blackwood, Ryan Minnick, who had 2 goals, and Chris Cheveco. And then in the final quarter, David Jordan, Kevin Blackwood, and Parker Cesar all had goals. So the Crunch are now 3-1 on the season, and their next game will be Saturday against Rapid City FC. There is no Browns news, but there are some rumors floating around. So it was announced that the first game of the season will be on Friday. I think it was September 6th, but I don't know. That Friday, somewhere around there. Friday, September something. In Brazil. And it will be the Philadelphia Eagles hosting the game. And rumors around Cleveland are that it will be possibly, likely, some are saying, against the Browns. So the Browns may be opening the season in Brazil. So that should be interesting. There's a bunch of rumors going around about Deshaun Watson. And if you follow my page, you probably saw it. All hell broke loose over one tiny little comment I made telling the guy that posted it that he needed to stop spreading BS, basically. Deshaun Watson, as many know, had a number of sexual assault cases that were mostly settled, and he was suspended for 11 games and $500,000 fine and required treatment, blah, 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 blah. Of the cases that were not settled, one is set to go to trial. It is a civil suit, and Deshaun Watson has been requested to appear in person for a deposition. When this news broke, all kinds of people came out of the woodwork saying, oh, the NFL is going to suspend him again, blah, 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 blah. Okay. Part of the agreement on the original suspension was that he could not be further punished for the same incidents. This case is one of those incidents that is just now getting to court because, that's how civil cases work. They just go slow. So, this is nothing new. He is not likely to be suspended unless some new accusations surface or there is some proof that he is guilty of something beyond what was reviewed by the panel when they did the whole suspension initially. So, all this hoopla started by Mike Florio about the NFL can suspend Watson again is just a bunch of BS, because if they do, they would be in violation of the settlement agreement between the NFL and Deshaun Watson. So, it's not likely unless there's something none of us know going on. And the last thing that has been seeping out into the stratosphere the last couple of days that is driving me absolutely nuts is a lot of people are talking about Nick Chubb possibly being a cap casualty. Now, if you listened to Andrew Barry's end of the year statement, he made it very clear that Nick Chubb is a huge part of this organization and the direction this team is going and the plans for where they want this team to go, and a huge presence in the locker room, basically the heart and soul of the team. He made it clear that as far as he's concerned, Nick Chubb and the Cleveland Browns are synonymous. So where all of this is all of a sudden coming from is beyond me. But what I believe will end up happening over the next few weeks before we get into free agency is Nick Chubb will most likely be restructured and extended to minimize his cap hit for this upcoming season. We will see what actually happens, but that is how I see it going. Now, for some volleyball, because there's nothing else going on with the Browns. Nobody's saying anything right now, because they're all on vacation. They will be back in due time, since transition and franchise tagging window opens next week, and they got to start preparing for the draft and all that jazz. So we'll start hearing some real news soon. But anyway, the Columbus Fury played again, finally, on Friday at the Orlando Valkyries, and Asia O'Neal made her Columbus Fury debut. The Fury won set 1, 27-25, and then they lost the next 3. So they ended up losing 3-1. The Fury drops to 0-2. They did play very well in the first set, but then started struggling about midway through the second. Reagan Cooper played very well as well. Asia O'Neal was phenomenal. Can't wait to see more of her. And I will get to see much more of her, I hope, because the Fury's next matches are tomorrow against the Omaha Supernovas, the Fury's home opener. Then on Saturday, they will be at the Vegas Thrill, and Monday they will play the Vegas Thrill again, but this time in Columbus. So hopefully they can get some chemistry going, since they'll have 4 matches fairly close together instead of it was like 22 days between matches or something ridiculous like that between their first and second match. So hopefully they can get some chemistry going and get things moving in the right direction and get at least some set wins under their belt, more than one. But that is pretty much all I have. But we will get more into some baseball and basketball and hockey next week. Maybe we'll have some football news. I don't know. We'll see. Maybe there will be some real football news instead of just rumors. Oh, wait, you know what? There was one more thing I wanted to rattle off real quick. Ohio State had a bunch of players invited to the NFL Combine. Mayan Williams, Tommy Eichenberg, Josh Proctor, Marvin Harrison Jr., Matt Jones, Steele Chambers, Cade Stover, and Michael Hall Jr. So good luck to all of those guys in their Combine performances and such. And also good luck in the NFL Draft. But now it is time to cue that music. That is going to be all for tonight. Thank you for joining me on the Show of the Land. Be sure to follow me on X, Instagram, and Threads at BelieveLandGirl, and on TikTok at JenN.BelieveLand. Also, follow the show for daily updates on Cleveland and Columbus sports news on X at Show of the Land, i.e., where we will even bring your mama into it. Next up is the Buffalo Huddle with Patty Backs, with all that is Buffalo sports. Be sure to catch me next Tuesday at 6 p.m. Eastern on the Show of the Land for more on Cleveland and Columbus sports right here on IE Sports Radio, your direct feed for all that is sports. Have a great night, Ohio.